What you're talking about is the transfer of billions of dollars.
Every month, $15 million
$15 million was transferred
in cash from Qatar,
from Qatar
through Israelis to Hamas. Right.
Explain to me how Yishai knows that they're building tunnels to make a war on us, and these guys are looking at it and they see the tunnels and they must see the armament. They must see, and they're thinking to themselves out loud, no, they just want economics, they just want prosperity. So, was it Khalifa that said that? Was it?
No, I think you're talking about several layers here of misunderstanding the enemy. The first thing is the Qatar, let's call it the Qatari idea, which means we can buy with money, with good dollars that's coming from Qatar and these guys, peace and quiet. And because we want to, the main object of Israel is prosperity, we need quiet for the economy so we can buy time. That's it. In the Kiryah, in the headquarters, there is a big sign. There is no, but imagine, like it's imaginary sign. Sheket yaneh et hakol. Everything worth for quiet. I don't know if I said that right, but
quiet is worth everything.
Quiet is the most strategic thing. Everything. Okay, whatever. Quiet. We need quiet because quiet is okay. That's one thing, and because of that, we can take suitcase from one place and to give them to another place. But and by the way, the guys that created that was the Malal. Malal is the National Security Council of Israel. It's working with the Prime Minister of Israel. It's Bibi. It's Meir Ben Shabbat. It's Yossi Cohen. It's these guys. They were the guys who thought about that. They said, yeah, it's okay. But Hamas doesn't want to go to war. That's the big misconception.
Wait. You said something. You said now. One of the things is you're naturally a Hebrew speaker. In Hebrew, you speak super fast and you got a lot of facts. I have to translate this for an Anglo audience to understand what you're talking about. You threw out the word suitcases.
Right.
What you're talking about is the transfer of billions of dollars.
Every month, $15 million.
$15 million was transferred
in cash from Qatar, through Israelis to Hamas.
For how many years? For many years. With the consent of Netanyahu.
Yeah.
Qatar's transferring millions of dollars through Israel, not secretly.
Yeah, it's what the idea of the Malal, the idea of the Israeli National Security Council.
The idea
is they created it, and they created a relationship with Qatar.
And in the beginning on Twitter, there was always people being like, "What do you guys want? You guys funded these guys."
They did.
$15 million a month.
Quiet. It's not money. It's quiet.
You're buying quiet.
How do you say protection?
Yeah, protection.
It's a national protection. National protection. And when you're asking the people in the IDF or in the intelligence corps, they will say, "What do you want? It's worth every dime, because it's another month of quiet."
How is it quiet?
They're not fighting us.
They're not fighting us because
they're not attacking us.
Because what? Because they have jobs.
Yeah, they're trying to build. Listen, since 2007, the PLO, I said they were throwing. No, they didn't leave.
They were thrown off rooftops,
from the towers.
Right.
So now they have the responsibility over Gaza, and they need to take care of their own people. So they have the politics and the bureaucracy, and they need to build their own.
Right.
How do you call it? Like nation building.
So if the money is transferred from Qatar through Israel to Gaza, everybody's going to be happy.
Yeah.
And now we're going to have, you say, sheket tasiyati, a quietness.
Exactly, sheket tasiyati. Let's find the phrase in English, how to translate it.
It means working quiet.
If it sounds crazy to pay someone who is declaring, living in a mindset, teaching his kids, have a whole culture of destroying the Israeli nation and the Jewish people around the world.
Right.
To pay him. If it sounds crazy, let's stop for a moment and think, what are we doing now with the PLO?
The money keeps
Do you think
flowing.
they're different?
No. Yeah.
I found some Nukhba guys, those Machshimam, in October 7, when we were firefighting and we were killing them, with the patches of the PLO flag.
Right.
No difference. Same people, same culture, same flag. By the way, the IDF, and not the IDF, the Prime Minister office, they said, what was the first motto of this war? What was the sentence they used all over the world, including, by the way, I just saw it in the internet, I rechecked. When Blinken came here, and when the Minister of Defense, the American, the first one, I forgot his name, Harris, what was his name? They came here. What did these guys use? Hamas is ISIS.
Right.
It's very good, right? Hamas is bad. ISIS is evil. It's going very good together. You know what the true meaning is when you say that? That Gaza is pure. It's full of tzaddikim. It's not her fault that there is a thin layer of bad Hamas ISIS. We will remove the Hamas, and then we'll have a good Palestinians.
Right. So Gaza
Forget
is good.
about the culture.
Right. Well, there were. I identified 4 enemies that were never called out.
Right. That's
one,
right.
One that you just explained, which is Gaza.
Gaza. It's the same enemy. It's the Palestinians. That's the same enemy.
Right.
They can be hybrid. They can use different uniform. They can take the uniform off. They can. By the way, that's what will happen.
Right.
Now, when people are talking about deals, they will say Hamas will give his weapons. You know what they will do? They will take this
the green thing off.
Things off.
Put on a
They will
suit.
take a yellow shirt of PLO, whatever. That's it.
Right.
It's hybrid. They don't care. It's the same thing.
So that's one enemy.
One thing.
Palestinianism.
Yeah.
Which definitely brought in Hamas.
Right.
Okay. Another enemy, Egypt, was never
that's
called
a
an enemy.
different conversation.
Right.
Very important. Very important.
Never called out.
Right.
Qatar, big enemy.
Even Trump now, he declared he's going to fight the Muslim Brotherhood. Guess who he forgot in the list?
the Qataris.
Just forgot this small.
Right.
Okay, the Qatar.
And another enemy, and this one is maybe for a different conversation or later, another enemy that played a huge role here, but it's not talked about, is actually China.
That's right. And Russia. But China is the main. I agree. We can talk about China.
The TikTok wave has completely demolished the good name of Israel throughout this
That's
war.
only one thing. You're talking about the information warfare. They are doing information warfare against the West. They are planning their own global geostrategy October 7 over the US, over the West. The West is very, very is not aware of their planning.
You're saying
These guys are going all over.
You're saying China is planning on October 7th on the West, and the West is asleep like Israel is asleep on October 7th.
It's going to be. I'm sure it's going to be. It's going to be a big, massive attack one day. They will, people in Taiwan and in America will wake up, and it will be too late. But the Chinese are, as you said, is a foe. I mean, it's an enemy, and they were actually taking their part in October 7, our October 7. Some things that were not until this day published, but there are some things.
Okay, so that leads me.
Right.
I just mentioned 4, and you just
enemies.
Said 4 enemies.
That's right.
But the person who's in charge of telling us who the enemy is Prime Minister Netanyahu.
That's right.
We've already established that Prime Minister Netanyahu, I don't know if we established it actually, let me step back. He voted for the disengagement in 2005. He didn't vote for the last vote, but he voted along the way.
Yeah,
he's been prime minister since this whole period where Hamas has been arming itself.
And where the Israeli army was shredded.
Shrunken,
and also shredded. Chopped up for 20 years.
So the IDF shrank.
The enemies grew.
The enemies grew. 15 million shekel a month were coming.
What happened?
$50 million a month coming through Qatar, through Israel. Netanyahu approved.
What happened on the north border? What happened on the south border all those years? The enemy. People are talking. If there will be an investigation committee, we should start to talk about October 7, maybe October 6. What happened in the night? That's not the real thing. The real question is, what happened in the last 15 to 20 years all along those borders when in the other side, when we're talking about 500, 600 meters from our kindergartens, from our schools, from our kids and wives, there was a monster that was, building as you said, was building up. And we knew that. Why didn't we do anything about it? The dragon was there.
Okay, so my question to you now.
15 years.
My question is, I could paint it as, here's Netanyahu. He's not telling us who the enemies are.
Right.
He's feeding the monster. Remember, there was this movie you probably don't remember when I was a kid. It was called Little Shop of Horrors. It was about feeding this plant that was a man.
This plant.
Right, this plant. You keep feeding the plant, right? So it's feed me Seymour. You feed
Seymour.
Seymour.
Right. That was the
feed me Seymour.
Right.
So you keep feeding this thing. So you kick the Jews out of that land. You feed the monster. You look away when it's building tunnels, and then when they captured one Jew,
and the same thing that you mentioned happening in the north border against Hezbollah, the same thing.
And then you have
copy paste,
right? And then you have Gilad Shalit. One guy is captured.
How many
out of
terrorists they released?
About 1,000.
1,027, including
Sinwar,
the leader of Hamas, who was the creator and founder of October 7.
I was in my sukkah,
right?
My booth, my hut on Sukkot of that year, and suddenly, and I was living in Eastern Jerusalem on Ras Al Amud, Har Zaitim.
Nice.
And suddenly I heard a roar. I didn't know what it was.
From
it was
the neighbors. From
the
the good
neighbors,
neighbors.
yeah.
The news came.
No, they had returned on that day a murderer into our neighborhood.
Right.
Into our neighborhood. Came back a guy who murdered a Jew not so
I
far
remember
away.
Jabal Mukaber and all those
Yeah.
places. I remember.
Okay, so now, so now tell me this, and I know that you want to be fair, but who is Netanyahu? What is this thing? How am I supposed to see him? He sells to me, and I could buy it. He sells to me, look at me, I've bopped the head of all the bad guys around. Look at me, I did the beeper operation. Look at me, I'm continuing a relationship with President Trump. Now I got the Security Council to recognize half of our control of Gaza.
And also the route to a Palestinian state.
Right. So
And he was okay with that.
Netanyahu, not as he okay, he says, thank you, President
Thank you,
Trump.
President
This is great,
Trump.
this is great, this is great.
And it's the same President Trump that told him the moment he got into office, when his administration started the job, open the gates of hell,
Right.
spread those Palestinians from Gaza all over the world.
Right.
He said that 3 times.
Yes.
People said maybe, no, 3 or 4 times he said that.
Get him out. You
And
should have
it's the
never given
same-
away that land,
That's
he
right.
said over and over again. He should have never given that land away. He looks at it, and you could see in his eyes, I could see.
He's talking-
like a real estate guy. He's
That's
like,
right.
why would you give this thing away? It's on your border, and it's good beach property. Like, why would you?
It's
stupid.
beautiful. Yeah, it's an
stupid.
option.
Yeah.
He's a business guy. He
He's a business-
understands
yeah.
the profit. And it's the same Netanyahu that released, again, thousands of terrorists, including now,
Right.
in those deals. And
To get back to hostages,
we don't, to get back the hostages.
Right.
And
which was something that a lot of people wanted, right?
Okay.
I'm just saying that's what happened.
It's
So tell me, so explain to me, Yair
and
Ansbacher.
humanitarian aid
Right.
to Hamas, by the way, not to the Palestinians,
Right.
to Hamas.
About 1 ton of humanitarian aid per Gazan. That's what I heard an estimate, like an endless
but
flow.
They gave to Hamas
Right.
the humanitarian aid, which is extreme interpretation of the lawfare. You can ask Eugene
Kantorovich.
Kantorovich and others wrote Chavadat, like a paper, and gave to Netanyahu in the beginning of the war. They said, you don't have to listen to those crazy people from
Don't feed the enemy.
JAG, from the IDF Praklitut.
A military.
You can do the right thing according to the law, to the international law, and still do whatever you need in order to win this.
Right. Siege is a
Siege
legal part of
is-
international law.
That's the way you do war.
Right.
You siege. By the way, we just saw what
You don't feed the enemy.
You don't feed your enemy. We just saw that in Rafah. They took this tunnel. They mini
200
siege building,
terrorists were stuck
whatever.
somewhere.
So now they got out very hungry, very thirsty, weak terrorists, and some of them got killed. Some others surrendered. That's it. That's the way you do it. Very cheap. You don't have to spill
Right.
blood again.
Right.